I did. Hey, Dylan, I'm John, and we're online.
Oh, that was good.
Sing it with me, Dylan. Sing the song with me that we rehearsed. 1, 2, 3. And we're John and Dylan, and we are...
Online.
That's
We're
right.
into water sports, cuckolding water sports.
But the literal versions of those, not the sex ones. I like polo, and I like the dad of everyone on my team having to watch us play.
Oh, yeah.
This is technically a sport. You have to be proud. This is technically a sport. You have to be proud. But no one's proud of water polo. No one is.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, that's what I'm going to refer to myself as when I start coaching. I'm like a sports cuck. They call it fucking being a manager, but I'm a sports cuck.
Hang on. When are you going to start coaching your kids' sports teams? And also, when are you and your wife going to be ejected from a community center for gross behavior on the sidelines? Hey, you zebra-shirted fuck. If I wanted to get pegged, it would be Wednesday at my house, but it's not. So stop fucking me in the ass.
So come to my house on Wednesdays.
And call a foul on number 9, or I'm going to cut your fucking tires. You don't understand. Dylan is Peter passive to the point that you're like, hey man, that guy is sniffing glue next to your baby, and then the line is crossed, and it's like dealing with the U.S. military. Like it's just like, no, we're not doing that now. That time is done. Everything is your fault, where you're just like, yeah, you had a choice to make, and I've made it. You're like, but fuck you.
Yeah, and I send other dads in to do my work. Mm-hmm. I do insurgency. I place puppet dads.
Yeah.
I pay guys to be like, listen, fuck that guy's wife, ruin their marriage. Now you're his. Now you have to live with them for the rest of your lives. This is my No, I'm gonna. Here's what I decided. I'm gonna take my kid. We're doing drama with him, and my wife wants him to do sports, and I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch personas.
When you're doing drama. So, by the way, the bit I was doing, which was you weren't teaching him to act. You were just doing a bunch of dramatic things in front of him, like faking a fight with your wife. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, that's good. Acting.
Isn't that a good bit?
I did one. He pretended. What did he did some weird thing where he pretended to like be hurt and then he wasn't hurt, and I was like, that's a natural actor, baby. Yeah, and that's why I'll be screaming at the director when he's 3 in his pageant. I think my kid deserves a better part than a tree, you fucking fuck. I'm going to fucking
What's your name,
punch
Brendan?
fuck you with my dick.
Hey, Brendan, guess what? I didn't drive all the way here to get fucked in the face. The kid has a speaking role, or I'll fucking cut you with a spoon, too, so it'll take a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know the reason I'm screaming at you, Brenda? It's because you're not a man. If you were a man, I'd have already used this, and I have brass knuckles on. Give me a fucking reason, Brenda. Give me a fucking reason.
I also, the passive voice being angry about a thing that involves a kid is really funny. It's just like, hey man, look, I'm trying to be your friend, but your son has used the slide 4 times, and my son has used the slide 3 times. And if we don't get parity in those numbers, I'm not going to stop punching you in the face until I see daylight, motherfucker. I will kiss your corpse on the lips.
There was like a nightmare. Some UFC fighter was talking about how his kid was being bullied, and then the dad was like, the kid was pushing his kid, and the other dad was on his phone. And then the guy just bumped him, was like, every time your kid pushes my kid, I push you. And the other dad was like, what? And he's like, oh, he pushed him again. And he started pushing the other dad. And then and he's like, yeah. And he took his kid and went home. I'm like, yeah, I'd do that. Instead of being like, hey man, watch your kid. Just like, I'm going to fight this other dad.
You do know my new favorite YouTube obsession is people not knowing that's a UFC fighter and almost get into a fight in public. It has 3 stages, and they're all the same, and they're all the best. First stage, very similar to yours, is normal social interaction between 2 people. And then it flips because you realize one of them is an MMA fighter, because their reaction to conflict is like
thank God. It's like I understand this.
Exactly. Yeah. It would be like if you and I saw a buffet, be like, oh, I understand this. Now I am the alpha. You do not understand how much cake I can eat right next to French fries, but I'm going to do it, baby. And so that's phase 2. And then phase 3 is the race against the clock. Does UFC fighter UFC it up, or does friend in polo shirt run up and whisper in other guy's ear? Those are the only two places we're going, baby. And it always ends up with polo shirt in the ear. But like a couple of times, it's literally like as a fist is being cocked back. Sean Strickland has a bunch of them because people keep pranking his house, which also...
That's good.
The internet does not stop being amazing. There's a bunch of memes of people ding-dong ditching Sean Strickland's house, and then he walks out with a gun, and people are like, oh, these stupid kids. And then the internet's like, wait a minute, we know where this guy lives now? And they were like, well, yeah. They're like... Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to ding-dong ditch a psychopathic violent man to the point of insanity. And yeah, people keep knocking on his door and running away. And I got to tell you, it's funny to me every time that they're doing it to this man.
Yeah, man. Like, what if Mr. Wilson from Dennis the Menace had a gun and loved nu metal? Like, that's a really good way to... Just Sean Strickland getting fucking ding-dong ditched, and Mr. Wilson, instead of being like, Dennis, is like, you fucking libtard cuck, I'm gonna fucking screw you with my fucking 9, and he just runs outside.
First of all, who's the French guy using the doorbell? This is America. You just yell. You honk your horn. You unnecessarily honk your horn from your car in front of the house in a manner that makes everyone go, is that someone waiting for me, or is there an accident outside? That's how you do it in the red, white, and blue, baby.
I heard that Sean Strickland, who was like a former UFC middleweight champion, was he used to be a Nazi, like a skinhead, and then he like basically watched something and was like, maybe we're all the same. But whenever you see a representation of someone not being a Nazi, it's always like they do a 180. But he literally just took that and everything else. He's like, no, everything else is good and fine.
This is a thing that, as someone who spent a lot of time in the heavy metal and punk communities of Ottawa and Ontario, Canada, I know a couple of people who have taken a left turn, shall we say? And what is very funny is when they don't go all in on the beliefs. That's my personal favorite. You see that a lot in Canada because it'll be specific hate towards a conspiracy theory of French people, but they're accepting of everyone else, and you're just like, this is embarrassing for us all, where you're just like, I'll tell you who runs the fucking world. Fucking French people through the Catholic Church, man. That's who's fucking in charge. And you're like, no, they're not. They're not. If that were true, I'm going to tell you this right now, food across the board would be so much better. If the French were running the Illuminati, first things first, croissants in every school, non-negotiable. Number 2, we're all dating teenagers.
Number 2, 17 is the only age you can be.
Yeah, number 2, if you're a girl, 18, bleh. This is the thing. This is a crazy thing.
Banana is brown now. Yeah. 17. Now say it. What is the anthem? What is our anthem? Les poupées sont 17. Yum, 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 yum. 17. Yum, 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 yum.
Are you 17. Following the Gerard Depardieu Me Tooing? Because I'll tell you this.
No, but I assume it's
wild. It is. Here, let me give you the Cole's
English
notes.
English one's like, yeah, he pressured a girl into oral sex. Gerard Depardieu is like, I groomed an entire grade 3 class.
He's like, first of all, he keeps giving interviews for a period of time where I don't know why, but he's just like, you know what'll make me seem like I'm very innocent? Smoking a cigarette with a long ash.
That's really good.
Always. Yeah, nothing.
I am not a pedophile. Would the pedophile do this? Yum, 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 yum.
Would the pedophile be giving this interview in a grade 2 class? The answer is no.
A pedophile wouldn't smoke in front of 8-year-olds. Wait, he would? Oh, no.
Let me ask you this, Dylan. If you are accused of horrible, horrible sex crimes, would you threaten to give up your citizenship for Russian citizenship? What would you think that would make you seem guilty?
I'd be Russian before you knew it.
That's what Gerard Depardieu did. He was just like, oh yeah, I'm Russian now. What are you gonna do? It's just like,
what was it,
bro? What a reaction!
Yeah, the Russians famously easy on sex crimes.
Yeah, the Russians famously known for a very lenient penal system.
No, I don't know. What's the country that you could move to that just means you're guilty?
I mean, I gotta tell, like, anywhere in the UAE, Saudi Arabia. If you're moving to Saudi Arabia, you did something fucked up.
Okay, so I would move to Saudi immediately.
You move to Saudi. Okay, what are the countries that you're just? It's clearly you're guilty.
So here's what I would do. I would hire a PR person, and they would show up. They're frazzled. Like, they're frazzled. They have a briefcase. First of all, the briefcase has to pop open, and then there's just a bunch of open bags of Crispers. And the Crispers fall out, and the guy goes, oh, fuck, that's my lunch. And then he goes to the podium, and he goes, you're accusing him of this? Sounds like you did that. You, right there. You did it. What is he being accused of? And then they'd say, and he'd be like, oh, cool. If it was opposite day, he did it, and then he would eat the Crispers off the ground in a frenzy.
A couple of things.
He's like on all fours, going like, he's crying, and the other thing is, butt flap. He has a butt flap on his jeans that folds open. He farts, and then that is my denial.
I missed some of that because the headphone jack fell out of my headphones. I caught the gist. I'll tell you this right now. That's the best legal strategy I've ever heard. You know who you are? You're the dream team from O.J. Simpson's trial rolled up into one defendant.
Yeah, or maybe maybe go, oh shit, I got a call. He didn't do it.
Yeah, I think
him. But it's just the old guy phone. But by the way, that's how you can tell how old someone is, no matter how good they look. Ask them to mime a phone. If they do this shit with the receiver, they're over 30.
What are kids doing now? Mime a phone, and they're just like,
yes. Yeah, like this. Anyone under 29 is like, I was talking to my friend. And
that's like, crazy, man. Here's something I was thinking.
They don't do this shit.
Next year, someone that was born after 2 girls, 1 cup can drive a car.
I use that as my BC and AD as well.
That is my BC and AD. Pre-cup, post-cup. 2008. Get ready to go to hell.
Fuck, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I said it.
That really puts it into perspective how weird having a young girlfriend must be, where it's like, yeah, I don't care if this woman was born after she was born and MySpace was dead already. And you're like, yeah, hook it to my veins. I don't know.
Listen to me. In 5 years, we're going to get to a place where some of my friends are going to be on in between marriage 2 and 3, and I'm going to have to speak to a 20-year-old, and that 20-year-old will have been born the same year as the iPhone.
But they're never like, all right, here's what I'll say, is if you look back at your old Facebook statuses, you're not as dumb as you think you were.
I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about me. I don't want to talk to one of these people. All my references will be off.
Because you'll fuck them.
They're going to think of 30 Rock the way we think of Barney Miller.
Yeah. Some of them, it's funny, though, because it's like certain ones. You know, they always, those memes will go viral, like, Nevermind is now as old as fucking the Velvet Underground was when you were a kid or whatever.
It's a bit of a I'm gonna say it. It's a bit of a psyop. Nirvana wasn't that popular after he killed himself for a couple of years. Like, I became a teenager after he died. No one was like, "Ooh, Nirvana's great." It was kind of like, they're all right. You know what I mean? We're into cooler bands.
Well, if you look up the actual things that sold really well, like, let's say, what do you think was the number 1 selling album of, let's say, 1994?
I'm gonna say it's like Janet Jackson's Velvet Rope. It's one of those. Like, it's gonna be like, well, Nirvana, Nevermind came out, but the number 1 selling album is just a lady threatening to remove her brassiere, and she's talking about it.
Well, I mean, it's probably like this is the other thing of like R&B groups sold a lot more, like Boys
100%.
to Men is.
I was about to say, is it Boys to Men?
All right. Well, according to this website,
what was the number 1 album in 94, baby?
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Shut up. The Hoots?
Hootie and the Blowfish, good. Green Day, Bon Jovi.
Yo.
Mariah Carey's Christmas album. Then TLC comes in at number 6 after the Lion King soundtrack. The other thing you understand when you start making content is sometimes people are, which I didn't think about this, but people are very upset at swearing and taking the Lord's name in vain. So if you make a kids thing, adults will like some of it, and also people who hate swearing will like it too. Boys to Men was number 8.
Of course it was. In the 90s, here's the thing with Boys to Men. That's what the 90s felt like, was a Boys to Men song where you're like, what is all this extra stuff? This singing is really good, but some of these noises in the Boys to Men songs are just like, did you guys break a bunch of glass and record that? And they're like, yeah, that's supposed to be her heart. Shut up. You're from Philadelphia.
Yeah, best-selling album of the 90s was the Bodyguard soundtrack.
No, it wasn't.
According to this fucking janky-ass website.
I'll take it. I mean, the Bodyguard, let me just say this about Whitney Houston. That's a real advertisement for doing cocaine. Yeah, she died in a bathtub, but she was gacked out of her gourd the whole time, apparently. That's a lot of success for being on cocaine. Like, I know that it ended badly, but that's like, we got to look at the whole game, baby. The first...
Can I fucking say something?
Please, I want you to.
Okay, so this is the other thing about that people don't like to admit. John, are you ready to admit something?
Yeah.
Talent has a lot to do with it. There's recently Ryan Garcia, who we covered a bit on the show, who's a crazy person, beat Devin Haney, and Ryan Garcia was drinking and doing drugs every single night. He easily beat Devin Haney in boxing because talent is very important. And like, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work is a great saying. It's like, hard work beats talent. No, it doesn't. You could show up and be fucking fat as shit if you're fucking just coordinated. Look at baseball. Baseball is essentially like, what if we took endurance out of a sport? It'd be like, then the guys who are just naturally good at sports will be the best. And that's why you get fatzos throwing fast and hitting baseballs fast.
The thing, when it comes down to talent v hard work, it comes down to John Daly versus everyone else who's played golf. John Daly does not practice. John Daly does not stop drinking. John Daly eats chocolate muffins and is fucking insane. Here's the thing. John Daly has won some championships and would be the greatest golfer of all time if he tried, but he chooses not to. And instead, he's crushing up pills at a Hooters, baby. He lives on a tour bus even though he has a house.
Sorry, even that, or he was trying. And that's as good as he is, but doing it while fat, like winning one tournament while fat is more impressive than winning 5 while skinny. Because you're like, the media obviously just wants to make things fun for everybody watching it because it is entertainment. Like the original like basketball, when basketball was just basketball and it was a time and there were like less rules, it fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Games were like 20-19. The team with the first basket would just hold the ball. It was like literally just fouling people, and then they would just shoot fouls for fucking 48 minutes. Like, look up the scores.
Is that the era right before Larry Bird and then Larry Bird came in? Or is that much earlier?
They had a shot clock in the NBA very early on because it's a sport for money. In college basketball, like the team Michael Jordan played on, the North Carolina, they won, and they were like one of the last teams that was like, no, hold the fucking ball, never shoot it. Never ever shoot it. It was just this old guy being like everyone on his team could like dunk with their foot. And he's like, what are you doing up there? Get down here. Hold it. Tell the defender about how they're going to miss out on Microsoft stocks. I know what those are, but he doesn't yet. Bore him.
Is it
also
sort of
most of the best-selling albums in the 90s, according to Wikipedia? Not most of. I will say 3.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, 3 out of the 7 are soundtracks. That's another thing. No one talks about, like, what was bigger than Nirvana? Movie soundtracks.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I mean, this is something that my fiance...
You know what the number one fucking selling book of, I think it was 2007 was?
All Music's Guide to Soundtracks of the 90s.
Pirates of the Caribbean, the book.
Oh, fuck yourself.
And then it's like, and then in the fucking movie... And then fucking Johnny Depp crossed out whatever pirate he plays. He fucking...
I remember seeing a couple going to see Pirates of the Caribbean in a movie theater. And she told me, I've seen this movie 14 times. It's what we're like kind of doing this summer. Is just going to see this movie. And in my head, I was like, you guys hate each other so much. You're just going to see the same movie over and over again. This will be over by the end of the summer. And it was. Dylan? It was, baby.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
My wife and her friends in high school went to see Master of Disguise, and all of them tell a story about begging her to leave. And she said, no, I paid for this. So that's the level of autism I married. God
damn it, I respect your wife so much. That's exactly correct.
I paid for this.
Yeah, she's right. We're seeing this through.
No, I fell asleep during... My favorite thing I've ever done is fall asleep during Master and Commander, and then wake up, and then my friend James was like, boring, and then we left, and all the people were like, but what about the cinematography? And he's like, we're going to go get drunk, and then we're going to sober up and drive home.
That movie is great, but that movie is not for anyone who's 19, because it's a slow ship battle filmed on the ocean where nothing takes place for 3 hours. So if you're just like, bro, I want to get shittered and rip Velcro off of other Velcro.
Check that shit out.
Yeah,
you ever heard that before?
You ever fucking seen someone do that so quick? See how fast I do it? That's how strong I am.
You know what my favorite part of Jackass is? Where they fucking have the hobos fight. Wait, that's bum fights. I like bum fights.
I mean, man, just explain to someone that bum fights was more recent than cell phones. You understand that understand society was at a place where someone said to two homeless people with no hope, I'll give you $10 each if you fight each other, and then used a cell phone to call someone to get a camera.
That's good. I mean, yeah. But unfortunately, the guy from Bum Fights did the greatest thing of all time, which was
go to jail.
Showed up on Dr. Phil dressed exactly like Dr. Phil.
So, and also, by the way, it is so good because you see who Dr. Phil is as a human being right away, which is, this is not funny. I hate this, but I have no way of stopping it, and I have no idea what to do. Like, Dr. Phil is stumped by it immediately, because as soon as the guy goes, how is it any different than you bringing people on and exploiting them for money? And you can see in Dr. Phil's...
I don't make them get tattoos. Does he not just say, I didn't make them get tattoos of Dr. Phil on their fucking forehead?
No, he doesn't say anything. Dr. Phil walks away and they kick him off the set. Like, he doesn't have a comeback to it, because Dr. Phil... You have to remember, Dr. Phil is not smart. He's essentially a theater actor who's part of a long con. He's a gym teacher doctor who's bald and yells at people in a soft Southern accent. And because Oprah's mental, she was like, this is the smartest man I've ever met in my life. And he's like, smart or loud, Oprah? Same thing where I come from. Fuck.
I would love for Joe Rogan to interview Oprah, and then a third person is just like audits who they made famous and why. It's like, who deserved more of a platform, Brendan Schaub or Dr. Phil? And then they have to debate.
Brendan Schaub.
And then you got to be like, they will obviously divest themselves of any wrongdoing, for sure. But I mean, like, they're the same person.
They are. I mean, I actually think
It
Oprah
must fucking rule. Like, every time someone gets on Kill Tony and does like a good 5, and then they're now they just have people that fuck it. There was some comedian that went on there and bombed. But he was a panel guy.
Chad Daniels.
And he didn't really get what it was. And then now I look up, and since I watched a video on him, I see all his reels and shit, and all his reels are just like, it's like fucking, do you remember when, this is very niche, Kid Rock said Beyonce was ugly or some shit? To this day, their comments on his video is just bee emojis. Those are Beyonce fans. Which is so silly, because it's like, yeah, help Kid Rock reach more people. But yeah, Chad Daniels said that, where it's just people commenting, are you a comedian? Is this supposed to be funny? And then that's what it is. Like,
because here is the thing with comedy right now is all of those
also,
shows.
Best-selling 2007 best-selling album, Josh Groban's Christmas album.
Shut the fuck up.
Mind-blowing stuff here.
Josh Groban's Christmas album?
Dude, Christianity rules. We should have chosen to be Christian fascists when this started. But
I mean, I think this is my weird theory. I think
you're a Christian fascist.
I think we're in the new metal phase of Christianity in America. I've been working on this theory for a while. We've entered the new metal phase, and then after this is just everyone sobers up and calms down for a while. Is what I think is happening.
I hope that is not true.
You want it to go all the way, baby? You want to meet the devil? You want to shake the devil's hand? Fucking
I am the devil, baby.
I mean, I would love to see your family handle the apocalypse. I think it would be pretty great. First of all, your wife will never have been calmer in her entire life. Just the ability to be able to go outside and just take out some of the aggression on just random people physically without any consequences. First of all, everyone's relaxed. Everyone's just chilled out. You're having a nice, cool drink in your bunker. You know what I mean? Oh, it'd be lovely.
I mean, I would like it because it would be super easy for me, because I would just fucking
be an alpha,
end up with like 9 wives or whatever.
Of course, because you just do all those push-ups, and everyone would be like, "Whoa, how many push-ups did he do?" And you'd be like,
I'd just start eating elk
10
meat.
in a row.
It would turn out it was off, and then I'd be dead, and that would be me in the apocalypse. And then I would just be food for a family because I ate too much I have enough problem with eating meat that's gone off without the apocalypse. If I just find meat on the ground and I'm like, hell yeah, and it's like in my body before I'm like, oh, I shouldn't eat that, dead.
I think you'd survive. I know what I've eaten in my life, and I know what you've eaten in your life, and I feel like we were able to withstand a lot of things.
I think if we can get real, I think we all agree the white race would fucking rise again, because that is what we have. And listen to me, John.
I disagree completely.
All this fucking seasoning, all this fucking cooking shit, gone by the wayside. Boil some water, throw a potato in it, it's soup.
I mean, I got to tell you, I was going to disagree. I disagree with the route you took to get to this point very badly, where you really went through a wild neighborhood to get here. But yeah, you are
White
probably
Christian too. Christian.
Whoa, no, don't like this area. Don't like how you're presenting this. Here's the thing with your point. Your point is
my eyes are wide.
Your eyes are wide. You've also somehow you've leaned forward, and also your image looks more professional. Like you're really ready for that right wing pivot that's been in the mail for years for this program.
Yeah, leaning slightly forward did turn this much better. Anyway,
it really feels like we're
white.
Yeah.
White.
There's nothing more crazy. Like, be this close to the camera, it really feels like we're about to Kamala Harris. Kamala.
No, here's my impression of the apocalypse.
Go ahead.
We need to, this is a cheese. Dead. White guy's just eating a potato that's uncooked. He's angry. Yeah. His gums are bleeding.
But he's fine. I'd be so happy. Oh, why are your gums bleeding? It's the apocalypse. I don't have to go to the dentist anymore. It's a day into the apocalypse. It's 1 day.
I don't have to go to the dentist anymore. Just yelling, I don't have to go to the dentist anymore. Yeah, that's all you gleam from like seeing fucking. They linked crypto with the dollar, and the dollar has collapsed. No dentist for me.
Yeah, just go outside eat with sugar in the morning. Time to eat sugar in the morning. No dentist for John. I am the
try
rebel
and give
boy.
you a cavity, Mr. Dentist.
Yeah. Come and get me. You won't be able to find me because I'm not going into your chair.
I'm gonna die of a disease that was extinct by 50 years. Hello, polio. My legs hurt.
Yes, I gave myself polio before the apocalypse started because I wanted to make sure not everyone else got attention. I want some attention too.
So yeah, obviously these are Wikipedia lists to return, but I mean, there's some pretty eye-opening stuff. Most eye-opening, Jeff Foxworthy not on here for some reason.
What?
I'm going to message the guy who keeps this page up and explain to him that Jeff Foxworthy should probably be on here.
Excuse me, you might be a redneck because you didn't realize how many records Jeff Foxworthy sold in the 90s. Also, can I just say this about Jeff Foxworthy? In the middle of the pandemic, he released a comedy special and everyone lost their shit. And here's the thing you have to understand. Jeff Foxworthy lives in a different universe than everyone else. There is a whole different America that just is this country, that like the coast of that country is the Gulf of Mexico. Like Jeff Foxworthy owns a plane to go hunting and a plane to tour rich. And I don't think he's ever been to Chicago. And it's the best that people are like, this fucking guy's out of touch. And it's like, bro, you don't even fucking know. This guy thinks that Mitt Romney is a liberal. Like, leave him alone. You don't get involved.
There's people who do think Mitt Romney's a liberal because he cheated on them.
He married, here's how you know Jeff Foxworthy probably agrees with how Dylan presented that argument about how white people know how to make flavorless food.
Yes.
He married his wife after only knowing her for 2 weeks.
Why?
He said, Christian, he wanted to have some of that pun.
Oh, yeah, that's good, actually.
Pun.
Best-selling album of all time, Thriller. Bodyguard soundtrack, number 10.
Bodyguard soundtrack's number 10?
Grease
is Jagged
is
Little
11.
Pill on that list? People always say Jagged Little Pill's on that list, and I don't want it to be.
It is not.
I just want it to be for me.
Come On Over is on the list.
What? By who?
Shania Twain. Did you have to do line dancing class?
No.
Or was it a unit in gym? We had line dancing as a unit in
What
gym.
are you talking about? What kink was being exploited for that? That's insane. No, we didn't have line dancing. No, we had 3 people that were supposed to be on the Olympic hockey team, but all had injuries, so they were a level of competitive with each other that was insane. Then we had another guy, Mr. White, who was dating a recently graduated student, and our class knew that. Yeah. And let me tell you, no one respected that guy. I just remember every day a guy gave him the finger and went, "Fuck you, Mr. White." Mr. White just had to take it because he was say it with us,
Russian citizen.
Pedophile.
certified lover boy, certified Russian citizen.
Yeah. Or technically, no, she was 18. So technically not a pedophile.
Ooh,
Mr.
yeah.
White was not a pedophile, let me say that. But not a good neighborhood, Mr. White. You're too close to that line, my friend.
Hey, that's a really good thing you can do is exert your power so you get what you want. John, comments?
I disagree specifically with that comment presented at this juncture in the episode. Nice try, Dylan.
John,
I
comments
am younger
on
than you, but I
exerting
wasn't
your
born
power
yesterday.
to get what you want. Anyway, John, here's something I want to talk about. We were going to talk about Ozzy Osbourne. We're 30 minutes in now. That's not going to happen. Who's the real guy I want to talk about? Zakk Wylde. Zakk Wylde is the funniest man in the world. Here's why Zakk Wylde is funny. Perfect 1, 2, 3 on one of his DVDs. This is from years ago. He's like, 3 greatest bands of all time: Ozzy, Black Sabbath, Elton John. Which I'm like, first of all, he said the same thing twice, pretty much.
No,
then
he
the third
didn't.
one is
Wrong.
like Elton John. Amazing.
First of all, Dylan, shut up. Black Sabbath and Ozzy, very different. First of all, Black Sabbath, at a certain point, different singers. Fuck you. Second of all,
if I was like, what are the 3 best sauces of all time?
salsa, green salsa, ketchup.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just said. Anyway, continue.
What I'm saying is the devil's in the details, and the differences between Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath are in the details. And then Black Sabbath leaned way more into metal, while Ozzy obviously was on cocaine, and was chasing hits in the 80s, which is why so many of his songs, for some reason, just have a synth part going, where you're like, yeah, this doesn't need to be here, man. And he's like,
but it was the 80s, so it's like it had to evolve. Like Randy Rhoads is obviously a very different guitarist than Tony Iommi, but also like changes provides the blueprint for the rest of Ozzy's career, where he's like, and then I'll do a fucking ballad about how nice my mom is sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Who is that song by? My Mom Coming Home is written by?
Me.
Lemmy. Lemmy wrote that song because he read
Really?
he read that Ozzy tried to kill his wife, and the story goes he's like, he's gonna want to write a song about how he's sorry about that. All right, I'll write it. And that's what financed Motorhead for the rest of Motorhead's career, was that most of the album No More Tears, Ozzy's best album, is written by Lemmy. So he just got all the publishing rights to that. And because Lemmy's a insane man, he then just slammed all that money into his band instead of buying a house. Oh no, I will just continue to have a studio apartment, but I've made yet another album where all the songs start like this. And I'm going to say this, I've listened to all of them.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair to Lemmy, like, what the fuck does Lemmy want to do with like, hey man, your furnace, you need to get your furnace checked.
Imagine,
like,
I don't think he would know what he'd be like, what's like, is that a band that's been in my, what is this room that's underneath my house? A dungeon?
Well, Lemmy Killmeister, you have to have your roof replaced every 10 years. So do you want to do that yourself or hire someone? What? Oh, put the roof. I got a German Nazi tank roof now.
Yeah, I thought the roof was blown off because of my songs.
I'm gonna no roof and we drink whiskey on it.
Yeah, how about this? I just do a bunch of crystal meth and then you take care of it. Like no, like you have to pay me.
Oh yeah, anyway, I would definitely like advise people to listen to Black Label Society, because there's legit one where it's like the Black Label Society DVD. First of all, they invented pretending like you're in a motorcycle gang when you're not, like Sons of Anarchy did.
Yeah, no, the Black Label Society is the Sons of Anarchy of music. He refers to all the different places as the chapters. We're partying with the Detroit chapter, which is, Zach, very embarrassing. It is so...
And it's super funny. And the other... What the fuck else is... That's so funny. I didn't even... I forgot about that. And it sounds like Nickelback. And he sings like... He feels like Pearl Nickelback jam. It's fucking crazy. It's like Creed, actually.
He has a super baritone voice and also was really into country rock and was gorgeous in the late 80s, early 90s. And so basically the music industry saw this guy and was like, holy shit, we're going to make $1 billion. Oh, yeah, here comes the third mic. Time to get controversial.
He got fucking pissed. You know what the fuck thing about this child, 2 months old, I showed him the part in the Black Label Society DVD where Zakk Wylde solos with one hand and yells "fuck Iraq" right after September 11th, and that's why he was screaming. He's like, "You better mention the part where Zakk Wylde yelled "fuck Iraq."
I mean,
where you're like, okay, yeah.
In the live album, one of
You've
the
instantly
songs,
redeemed yourself, sir. Sorry.
One of the songs just starts with "Limp Bizkit sucks dick."
No, yeah, he really doesn't like Limp Bizkit for some reason. Oh, because they rap.
It was this period. That's what it was. It was new metal, and what it was very subtle. They
It was
were
a
like,
safe way to be like, I don't like rap music, and by extension, the people that invented it. But I can put all that hatred on Fred Durst. He also
That's
used
exactly
a
what
word
happened.
that we used to say all the time in the fucking early 2000s.
"Here we go."
Yeah,
Dylan?
let's just say gravedigger, but it starts with a W.
Oh
I don't
my
even.
God.
I don't feel. I remember people were saying it when I started doing stand up, and our friend Bobby rightly pointed out. He's like, "You realize when people say that, they're just basically like, you're a white N-word." Like, and I was like, "Yeah, that's fucking crazy,
Bro, I heard that word used 2 weeks ago, and it was
by
spectacular.
you
but
coming out of your mouth."
it wasn't by me, but I had put the guy up who said I pointed out that this would be the perfect time to use that word.
There you go.
If anyone's going to use
a
it,
word perfectly applies to this situation.
if anyone's going to use it right now, it probably should be you. And it should probably be this word. You want to say it?
Use it on Tim Waltz or whatever that guy's name is.
What?
Oh yeah, you got a fucking autistic son? You fucking wolf.
Oh my! That was. I mean, I could not believe how badly that's gone for everyone. By the way, and that everyone, because it was the beautiful misjudgment of where the line is at times with the internet, where people are like, I remember back in 2014 we could do that, and I was like, bro, that was 10 years ago. Strap in, and then they were like, oh, like Ann Coulter is getting lit up so violently by suburban moms just who have literally logged on to threads to be like, Ann, big fan, all the books, how dare you? And those people are not used to suburban, well-grammared rage. Ann Coulter like went deep on Gus Walls, and like as she didn't realize like all of her followers are like, suburban wine moms who are like, listen, I don't want them in the neighborhood, but my nephew is on the spectrum, and you do not speak like the kind of people that refer to media personalities by their first name only. And I think you're going to need to tone that down.
There's tough on everybody unless they know someone like that.
That's exactly correct.
I'll have you know I know a Guatemalan, and he's very nice. But also, they're from Belarus? Burn them in the incinerator.
My great-grandfather immigrated from Ireland after he was caught embezzling all that money from the train company, and he used that money to start a business, which I now live off of. Let's tone it down with the anti-immigrant rage and move on to how taxation is theft.
Oh, yeah. I've been listening to more Black Label Society again, as I used to. And I'm in the fucking Toronto chapter.
So here's the thing also, you have to understand.
By that mean, I got a ticket on the Budweiser stage, and I ate 2 hot dogs while I watched them.
I fucking hate you.
I would love to be in a biker gang where it's just based on how many hot dogs you can eat in a row, no
You're looking
condiments.
at you'd be looking at the 2 goddamn fucking whatever the head of the chapter is of whatever city. That guy ate 11 hot dogs
Berserkers,
before
where the chorus is drinking, puking, pissing, and fighting the urge to have more hot dogs. Oh no, the hot dogs are winning again. Number 6 sent me to the hospital.
I think Berserker is the song that starts with on the live album, fuck Fred Durst.
100% it does. Because drinking, puking, pissing, and fighting is just like... I do like that it's like you puked, you pissed, now you're ready to fight. Not like fighting and then you're like, whoa, that was a good fight. You're like, all right.
The reason why Zakk Wylde has all these bands and sings like this is that they kept putting him in different musical outfits besides Ozzy because he was so pretty. They were like, this guy's got to be famous. But the thing is, they're like... What's he into? And it's like Southern Rock and Black Sabbath. Oh, does anyone want to listen to that? No, they do not. And like
6 incels, make him get a beard so people don't know how gorgeous he is.
Oh, it's so bad. And then he just starts drinking. He played with the Allman Brothers Band for what was supposed to be a tour and was one show because he kept just drinking beer and spitting it on the audience. And they'd like go into a solo and he'd be like,
dude,
cool.
That's the problem, man. Yeah. I like so much of it. Have you seen the fucking Ozfest 2000 Pantera set where he just walks on stage with a pit bull, hands it to Dimebag, solos while spitting beer on the audience, hands the pit bull back, and fucking walks off? I don't think I've ever watched that. I'm always start sitting and then by the end of that solo I'm standing. Because then just still goes, Zakk Wylde, everybody's fucking alright. And then what is it? No, I forget what band it was, but they were playing at Ozfest and Zakk Wylde just did his sound check so no one could hear it. And he's like, everybody over there listen to that are fucking losers. And I was like, fuck, I love this guy, man.
He's Zakk Wylde is a guy who's just never failed. This is the thing, is he's never had any adversity. He's like, what's the first thing you did? Well, I auditioned for Ozzy Osbourne, got that gig. Then they gave me a bunch of record company contracts. Then I started a biker gang that's really just about saying that Fred Durst is a fucking loser. And now I got 2 houses.
Cosplayed successfully. You know when you pretend to be you pretend that it's the Civil War? Imagine if the Civil War actually started and you were a general and you won. Like that's what I did.
And your gun's a guitar. And so and also by the way, like the amount of math you know in no way makes you a nerd, even though you're kind of a nerd.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's also I think it's on the Black Label Society DVD where Dimebag returns like a ATV to Zakk Wylde's house, but he does it. But doesn't he just like drive it on the lawn and park it on the lawn? And then Zakk Wylde's like, yay, borrows stuff and gives it back. And then Dimebag just walks off the lawn with no way to get home other than just walking. He's like, I returned it. No cab. I'm going to walk up. Like, he does that thing where you've had 20 beers and you're like, I got to walk home. I got to fucking piss on the way. I got a lot of stuff to do here.
There's a Guitar World interview where they destroy the cab the interviewer came in.
Dude, the fucking In This River video where he is playing piano and then just smashes it and solos on top of a burning piano. It's like, I'm not even sad this guy's dead now.
What's so weird is people don't see any of that sort of part of the cultural reality. They just see the blowback to it in the 2010s. But because we don't talk about the root maniacness of culture in the 90s and 2000s, the 2010s seems so insane out of context because you're like, why are all these people angry and just wanting to like listen to soft music? And it's like, oh, yeah, that's because for like 10 years, every third song was just like a guy in really baggy pants being like, this song's called Shit in Her Pussy. And it's about pussies that have shit in them because they're bad. 1 and a 2 and it's a ballad also. She was 1 minute late for a thing she didn't know about. Time to shit in her pussy.
I didn't tell her about plans, but she was late. Time to shit in her pussy. She got shit in her pussy.
And it was just like, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Clinton will now listen to his favorite song, Shit in Her Pussy, in front of a bunch of people he has flashed while at work.
Yeah. Bill Clinton is going to do a concert for all the interns that accused him of rape, and let me tell you this, at the end, they signed something, they have to take it back. Shit in the pussy.
Also,
and I'm the Democrat.
Yeah, we filled Madison Square Garden, and do you think that Hillary Clinton every day wakes up and just punches Bill Clinton in the face? Like, literally, I swear to God, she probably would have edged out being president if he had just not been history's greatest flasher. You know what I mean? Like, if
I'll tell you what I'd like to see. Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Bill Cosby has to stand up for all his accusers, and it's like Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. You know what I mean?
Oh my God! First
if he
of all,
kills, he's off.
I mean, I gotta tell you,
he could.
I don't think he could.
You gotta admit, it's quite the predicament. You're like, you are Ted. It's like if Ted Bundy was just like invented electronic music.
Did you watch the stand-up set he did after he got out? It's the craziest thing ever in that he clearly brought his own drink from home, which is so nuts. Like, he's got this like weird jug of a bunch of different fruit in it that like someone places on a little. If someone has brought your own little table when you're about to perform, you're a bad person. I'm going to tell you that right now. If someone else is laying out a little table for you, and you know what I mean? There's something about that. I'm like,
Well, you know what the craziest thing is? You know that talking funny thing? I recommended that to a new comedian. You know Talking Funny? You know who's in Talking Funny? Jerry Seinfeld, Louis C.K., Chris Rock, and Ricky Gervais. And it's like, I can't recommend this to anyone anymore because even though there is pretty good insights on stand-up, the best one of these people Chris Rock has like a new bit about like, here's why women are all sluts. Like, it's like, yeah, we knew that you thought that in 1995 when you were saying that, but now there's no laughs because you're old. And it's just really funny. Like a one-man show about how your wife's a bitch and it was fine you cheated on her.
I was sat at a comedy club recently and someone was going through all of the celebrity comedians in LA that are Trump supporters, and people are like, what? And they're like, yeah, he's just a millionaire, man. Like, this is, you have to, like,
you want to keep it all.
Yeah, they're just faking it. They're just millionaires.
Yeah. Well, it also, like, you know, if you have a lot of money, and then there's always going to be stories about politicians embezzling things, so you just convince yourself that all politicians are always going to embezzle, so I need a fucking four-wheeler and to park it on my friend's lawn more than they need that money. But anyway, yeah. There's a lot of, like, I guess, dog whistling racism. Is that a good thing for me to say?
Yes.
Dog whistling racism in Black Label Society that I'm just going to ignore because I like big solos.
How big are these solos?
Zakk Wylde solos? First of all, he's got that Vortex guitar, which is fucking awesome.
I mean, how cool is that? First of all, no. Don't just walk past that he's painted his guitar circles.
That's cool.
Dylan, it is cool. You know exactly whose guitar it is because of the circles. How fucking cool.
You know, it's fun. My friend Adrian, he rented one of those, went to an open mic night, and then just played I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany. And he but he did the Zakk Wylde test thing. He went, wee, wee, and then he sat down. He's like, I think we're alone now. And did it and looked at only the ugliest guy in the room anyway.
Do you know what he is? Do you know what he is? He's a fucking hero. Oh, yeah? Is what he is.
You motherfuckers don't understand real talent. That's why.
Whoa, man. Thank you. Like, I mean, I really appreciate actually you.
I don't even like the guitar. I just like what he says. Ozzy, no.
Whoa, Ozzy. I hear that you feel that way, but you're a bit new to this reality, my man.
There's too many fucking cucks podcasting now. Time for a real Gen Alpha, and the Gen is Gen, not Jen.
Why do you need to specify the spelling, man?
Shut the fuck up.
Whoa, who's teaching you these words?
Let me tell you, women, they shop too much. Fucking tell you why women don't get 30% less, because they fucking spend 2,000% more. Who needs an end table? A throw pillow? Yeah, throw it out the window. Shut the fuck up.
Buddy, I'm going to ask you to not steal your dad's closing bit. That's your dad's. Don't. He needs that
What's
to put food on the table
pillow stand for? Throw it out?
Oh my God. Dylan, I'll give you $50. If I want that, I want you to do... If you could do a cover band version of all of the headliners of Yuck Yucks from when we started as your next special, I would finance it. You doing your version of Lawrence Morgenstern's I Just Got Back from Winnipeg.
Go bowling. Here's my favorite thing about Lawrence Morgenstern, now deceased. Favorite thing about him, he didn't even change the activity to make it current.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my favorite thing about him was... There is a certain type of comedian that if two women are set together, there is the accusation that they are lesbians. And here's how Lawrence Morgenstern took it to the next level, charmlessly pointing at them and going, "You dykes, because you look like dykes." Which is, like, I remember in 2007, Howard Wagman at the Ottawa Yuck Yucks going, "Why does he have to say it like that, though?" And I was just like... Ooh.
I mean, here's what I like is that I guess all the comedians that we started comedy with were like a magical. It's magical where it's like guys who have been out of high school so long they don't remember they're nerds.
Yeah,
and they're just like the nerd in the leather jacket who's wearing the most out of style cut of jean you can.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but having a piano key necktie and wide-legged bootcut jeans, that brings all the girls' milkshakes to my front yard.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to talk about these women. Anyway, John, that's fucking it now. Shut the fuck up.
I will shut the fuck up. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Dylan needs to go talk to his son about his political views.
Yeah, we're going to talk about fucking Zakk Wylde again next week or whatever.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Zakk Wylde next week. We're going to take a little break right now because Dylan's going to need to explain to his son that Nick Fuentes is not a proper role model. Big Bird is not the same as Nick Fuentes. Kanye is... No.
Fuentes is a fucking liberal. Ozzy, no.
Whoa, Ozzy, that's a bit too. Yeah, Ye was right. Ozzy,
Live,
no.
bitch. Oh, no.
Whoa.
Fuentes, that's what passes for fucking conservative? All right, salsa boy, get the fuck out of my cup. No.
Yeah.
Ozzy.
Nancy Pelosi. Whoa,
Yeah, exactly.
buddy. Whoa, come on. Listen, first of all, stop reading our diaries. You know what I mean? People need to join the Patreon to hear that kind of content. All right?
Oh, yeah. Your Patreon, join the Patreon. We're going to give our positive review of Tim Pool.
Yeah, join the Patreon where Dylan and I are starting a group even more militant than the Proud Boys and so much more legally dubious.
Yeah,
Here are some
Proper
clips from
Men.
Here are the clips from it. Yeah, overthrow the government. It's my idea and I'm coordinating with other groups. Technically that's sedition, but don't worry, there's no evidence. It's not like this is being filmed.
Yeah, we talk about, we define sedition and then say that's our plan and high five.
I mean, did you follow the sedition trial? We got to go, but the sedition trial of the Proud Boys, this is what it was. Was it literally like, we have this video evidence where you're all holding a bunch of things that say the plan for sedition. Do you want to just say that's you? And they're like, we were joking. So, gotcha. And they're like, what about this video where it's the same sign and then next to it's another sign that says, we are not joking. This is serious.
Serious plan to overthrow the government? You're like, okay,
that is also a joke. We are doubling down on the joke. Okay, well, I just want to bring up this slide, which is you now holding a sign that says we are not doubling down on the joke. This is not a joke. This is serious. Just in case anyone needs any clarification. They're like, all right, well, you got us.
All right, John, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. And you know what? We're going to next week be talking about another celebrity for about 15 minutes and then mostly random dog shit.